But the question is, if they have super thick blubber that keeps them warm in the Arctic, what do they do when they're in Hawaii? They're going from 50 degrees Fahrenheit water to 80 Fahrenheit water. And it's not like they have a blubber coat they can just take off. But another huge part of heat production is through our metabolic rate. And so something to think about with humpbacks migrating is that when they are in cold waters, right, they are keeping that core body temperature in. They're not dumping that heat through their extremities or through their blubber, but they're also active. They're moving around, they're feeding and socializing and eating a lot. And to break down all that food in your gut, you're producing a lot of energy, which then increases that core body temperature. So with their thick blubber, with that countercurrent exchange all throughout their body and in their mouth, they have a lot of those countercurrent exchange vessels in their tongue, so they don't lose heat in their mouth when they open their mouth, and they're feeding in the cold water, which is pretty important. So they have all these methods to stay warm, but then they migrate to the tropics and they're not eating. So their metabolic rate decreases significantly. And so their actual just like heat production happening within their body isn't as much. And so in that way, they keep cooler. There's this saying in biology. It's like, are they migrating because they're hungry or are they migrating because they're horny? For this reason, it's neither. They migrate for skin care. So in the Antarctic, since they don't have that blood flow to their surface layer of their blubber, and so they don't molt their skin. They don't have healthy skin sloughing when they're in these cold Arctic waters. And so that's why you see pictures of the Antarctic killer whales where they look almost this yellow-green color. That's because algae, diatoms, are literally growing in their like skin that's on the surface that is not being sloughed off. So they do these yearly migrations to the tropics so they can get hot. So they can get all this blood flow to that surface layer of skin. And so that surface layer of skin can be sloughed off. And so species like the bowhead whale, beluga whales, or like subpolar populations of killer whales that don't migrate, they have to deal with other ways with doing a skin care. So they don't migrate, but they go to kind of shallow gravel bars, and they essentially massage their skin against the rocks so they can slough off all that skin that's not getting any blood flow.
You got their exfoliation routine.
Yeah. I mean, we've known this for whales with kelp for a long time, is that they'll rub themselves around on kelp, probably as a form of play, but also there was a paper officially published about this last summer about how they are using it for skin exfoliation.